Good morning, BoatingBanter.com fans. Captain Larry here with Chapter 38, believe it or not. Come on board, let's go for a ride. Okay, in Chapter 3, we had reviewed marine fabric. And very lightly went over foam. And I've gotten nothing but questions on that for the last 9 months or so, to get some input on an education on foams. So I figured I better go back and try to do that. I kind of half promised I would, and so today we are. I'm going to try to make this quick and to the point, and you all can make your own decision on what you'd like to do. First of all, before I get going, I just want to give a shout out to SailRight.com and Matt Grant and his team. When I decided to do this project, I reached out to 3 companies to help us. I mean, we're amateur guys here, you know, so we need all the help we can get. And I called SailRight, and I called Rochford Supply, and Miami Corporation. All 3 I have mentioned a number of times. They're where I buy most of my product from them. So I thought that they'd all be very excited to help us. And candidly, Rochford Supply and Miami Corporation had no desire to help, and conversely, SailRight and Matt were kind enough to have had like a half-an-hour confab with their whole team over there, which I got most all this information from, and some of it from my own. But anyway, shout out to Matt and his team at SailRight. Please support these people. They're fantastic, always ready to help you and answer a question and do anything you want. Unlike the others. Okay, let's get going. What I'd like to do, we probably should go over the terminology just so you understand. There's really kind of two items that we need to understand. Density is the first thing. And density, like everything else, is just the pounds per cubic foot. So obviously the heavier the density, the higher the density number, the more pounds it has per cubic foot. So we'll be mentioning the density of these foams, and just so you understand, obviously the more dense an item, technically it should be a little firmer. So that's kind of what that is, and also have a little more rigidity and maybe last a little bit longer. So high density is a good thing. The other terminology that is used in foams is ILD, or also known as IFD. The exact same thing. It simply means it stands for indentation load deflection, is what it stands for, those letters. And the definition is the number of pounds required to press a 4-inch deep piece of foam 25% down, and they use a 50 square inch piece to do that. So it's just the pressure it takes to get that thing down at 25%. So obviously that's kind of a relative term. One ILD compared to another ILD, the higher the number, the more pounds are required, so obviously it's going to be a little bit firmer. So if you have a high ILD and a high density number, you're probably talking about a quite dense, firm foam as compared to low numbers, which would be lighter and a little more cushy, soft. Okay, let's go over the types we're talking about. The one I have on the table here is the one I'm going to use in a project working on next. It's a high density foam, which is this one here. Now the high density foam, this is a 3-incher. This is probably the most common. It's the most economical in the marine grade world. This is the one I use most of the time. Let me give you the specifications on the thing. This is a 3-inch piece. It comes in 36-inch wide, 82-inch long pieces, which is what this is. The density is 2.8 pounds per cubic foot, so it's on a little bit on the firm side there. And they use this is SailRight. They use the IFD number of 50 pounds. So that's again the 25%. Take 50 pounds to get 25% of that down. I like the They say it's kind of firm. I really like the feel of this for cushions. That's why I use it all the time. Very, very comfortable, and candidly, it's also the most economical. This sheet here cost me about $100, and I can make quite a few cushions out of that. So this is really a good one to look at. We'll be going over some precautions you need to make with this one here in a minute, but very nice product. The next one we're going to talk about is this Reflex Biocide. This is very, very similar to me, softness wise. This has a density of 1.5, so a little less dense, and a 40-pound, a little softer IFD number. To me, they feel very, very similar. This is a little more expensive. This is $100 a sheet. This is $130 a sheet. So the Biocide costs you a little bit more. But the good thing on that, of course, if you've got cushions that are in a wet world like we are in boating, having that Biocide in there is not a bad idea at all. So you should definitely give a thought to this one. Both of these are going to hold water. You like sponges using the sink, so they will get very, very wet. So again, I'll show you how we want to protect against that in the future. Thirdly, closed cell. Now, the closed cell item, very firm. This has a density of like 35. I mean, this is really dense, but it does not hold water. Quite firm, and they don't. It's a natural product, so it really doesn't come in these 3-inch depths. Now this is one, they are like a 1/2 inch and a 1.5 inch. These things are the same material that your life preservers are made out of, and so people, that probably could make a comfortable cushion. And I think where these come in is if, for example, you're in a sailboat or something like that, and you got the outside cockpit, and you want to be able to use, not only have cushions out there, but want to be able to use them for flotation in case there's a problem. This is probably the stuff you want to use. It's a little expensive. Let me tell you, the width of these is 56 inches. The thickness is 1.5 inches, as I had mentioned, and the density is 3 to 5 pounds a cubic foot. So it's that's a dense little guy. But anyway, that's something you may want to look. The only downside of this, I mean, besides the firmness, it's pretty pricey. It's $33 a foot for that 56-inch wide piece. It's $33 for every foot you use. So you can see you can really rack up some high expenses on that thing with very small cushion. So again, that really should be used for a very specialized operation. And another thing, just before I forget, you may want to use even combination, what I'm saying, you know, because if you're sitting on something, you're going to want more firmness than if something you're just laying against, because obviously you're laying against something that wouldn't be putting nearly as much poundage there. So you can swap and mix and match these things, where you may want a firmer seat and a little softer back rest. Made that more comfortable for you. So again, you feel those and play with them, but those, again, something you want to think about. The beauty of these also is their livelihood. With pretty good use, these things should, I think their estimated lifespan is like 12 years. So that's like longer than most of us own our boats. So these are very, very good. These polyurethane, very, very good items, and for lasting. Okay, finally here, we're going to get into the dry fast or reticulated. Now the dry fast reticulated product, the density is only 1.8 per cubic foot with a 35-pound IFD number. So they call it medium firm. I think this is almost soft to me. The beauty of this, it holds no water. So you could pour water in, it would come right down the bottom. It's an open cell product, it just goes right through. So as far as having a nice dry cockpit area outside, this is really a nice product to have. You wouldn't have any mold problems with this thing. It's very comfortable to sit on, so it's something you really want to look at. The only downside is it's expensive. There's the 3-inch by 48-inch by 72 long sheet costs you $330. And so that's a little stiff. And the other downside of this thing, what Sailrite people told me, is that people are having problems with this thing breaking down like people who actually live on their boats are breaking these things down in like 2-year periods. So compared to 12 years, you're paying an awful lot, and like I say, the longevity may not be so great on those. So something again you may want to think about when you're using. If you're a part-time user like most of us are, casual user of your boat, I'm sure at 2 years, maybe, I don't know if it goes to 12 years, but you're probably talking 8 or 10 years without having any problem with that. So, and something you want to put in there, not ever have to worry about, water in your cushions or mold or anything else. They'll dry out really nicely with that. So that's, again, you don't discard that, even though it is a little pricey. One other thing I just want to throw in there is I looked online, and like you go to Walmart or Amazon or something like that, you can get these memory foam things. You get like toppers you put on your mattress, and you can get it for like $50. I got a $60 one from Amazon, which is a twin bed size, 3 inches. No, I don't know what twin is, but it's pretty good size for $60. Walmart had one for a twin for $88 for a memory foam. Again, 3 inches and sheet, this size. So you're talking about half the price of these here, or less. Obviously, they're not marine products, so you might have some other problems. But if you're really on a budget, that's something I think you really ought to look at. Let me show you what you can do for these polyurethanes. What you can use, this is called silk wrap, S-A-L-K wrap. Very inexpensive. I don't know what it costs, but it's like saran wrap almost, but it's really silky smooth. I guess that's why they call it silk wrap. You can wrap your cushions in this stuff. So you just take it and you put that over it. I have not used a lot of it, but I'm going to use more in the future. But it gives a good waterproof there. Now, also now our products that may be a little more mold oriented because they're holding water, this will really may be able to save the day on this thing, because this will make it somewhat waterproof, so you won't have those wet cushions. So that's something you want to look at. Silk wrap, and if you're going to use these polyurethanes, these two you don't need it, of course, but these two that hold the water, this stuff is probably the way to go. So something you want to look at. Again, I think it was 10 yards. I think I only spent like $5 on it, so it's quite inexpensive. And kind of finally, we'll go into these specialty foams. Now, after you've got your cushions, and let's say you don't want to buy new foam, again, you want to try to save your old foam, this is what I recommend. This is the one I use the most. Again, it's just a polyurethane. It's a 1/2 inch. It's 54 inches wide and $9 a yard. Very inexpensive. And like I say, if you've got foam that, of course, this is nice and firm. You get foam that is 15 years old, 20 years old in some of your boats, and then the foam is just collapsing. This is a good way to build it up. It's inexpensive. You can just glue it on get that 3M77 as I tout. Just glue this on. Just tack it on there. And you may, you'll want to put some wrap on top of that, and then have it on then the vinyl on top of that. And then you can build up. It builds some nice firmness to it, and it can kind of bring the old foam back to life. Here's another 1/2 inch. This is like $11 a yard, 60 inches wide. And this is pink color, but what I like on it has backing. So if you're going to put a pleat on your cushion or your backrest or whatever you want, this is the stuff you want to use. Again, it's a polyurethane. It's $11 a yard, so it's not really, really expensive. And it has the fabric, so you put the fabric on the downside, so when your needle goes through, the hook loop has something to grab onto on the bottom side. And it gives you a nice pleat. This is what I mainly use for my pleating. It works very, very nice. Again, you can get all this stuff from Sailrite, so call them if you need them. And this is scrim. This is what I use for my scrim. This has fabric on one side and just regular poly on the other side. It's a 1/4 inch. It's $6 a yard, 60 inches wide. So it's again very, very economical. Half as much as this. Obviously, the thinner you go on these things, the better price you get. But this is a great scrim. It glues well. I use the fabric side for the glue side, so I put the vinyl and I put the fabric side with the 77 from 3M. put it within the seam allowance, and it gives it a nice scrim feel. Obviously softens it up, the rounds, the corners, kind of nice. So that is it. I hope it wasn't too boring. There it is, my opinion on foam. I hope it gave you a little bit of help. Again, you can go on to Sailrite. They have an excellent video on this too, a lot better than mine. And you guys can pick what you want. They'll send you out samples if you want to see samples and play with them a little bit and see what you like to sit on. And again, you may want different from the backrest to the seat, and what your ultimate use is. You're always going to be outside, or is it going to be inside? See, the problem with this is you also got to remember is if you put this on, all of a sudden you have, like, say, this is a breathable, excellent product for you if you have a bunk area where you want to sleep. It breathes and makes it very comfortable. Of course, if you take that and then put this around it, all of a sudden you lose your breathability. So you have to think these things through and what you're really trying to accomplish at the end. What do you want of it? You want longevity, you want micro protection, you want a good price, you want to go to Walmart and get some cheapest thing you can. And you can mix and match these things. You can put this with this if you want a combination. Firm up. Try to keep your price down, but you may say, hey, I really like a floating one, but I really don't want that thin of a one. So you can get a 2-inch, 1-inch even, a piece of foam put under that, and it'll be a combination. So you can do combinations and stick them together with that 77 from 3M, and you'll have a nice product. Anyway, this was chapter 38. I hope you appreciated it. Thanks for coming by. Chapter 39, I want to get into a whole new project. You stay tuned because we're going to get right into that. You guys have a great day. Thank you.